talk about eye dominance a little bit. Eye dominance plays a major factor in shooting a shotgun. Again, it's extremely important that we keep both eyes open and we're able to focus on our target and see our bird better. So we've got to learn to shoot with both eyes open. And why that can be difficult for some people is there's a lot of scenarios out there where people are right-handed or left eye dominant, right eye dominant, left-handed. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to teach you guys how to administer an eye dominance test. Now there's a lot of tests out there. You're probably familiar with some traditional tests where you come down and you put an object, find an object in the hole and bring it back to your eye. Those tests, I'm not going to say they don't work, but in a lot of cases they don't tell the whole story. Eye dominance isn't as simple as right or left eye. It can be any combination of the eyes. You could be right eye dominant, you could be left eye dominant, you could have center vision where both eyes are basically equal. You could be 75% right, 75% left. So there's basically an infinite amount of combinations of how eye dominance works. So the eye dominance test I like to use is just a point test. Now I'm going to imagine my finger is a laser pointer. It's got a laser beam coming out. And when I'm administering this test, I'm going to ask the student to point at my right eye. So basically you're asking me to point at your right eye. I'm going to bring my finger up and you can see that my finger lines up with my right eye. Now we're going to double check this test by having you do it with your left hand as well. So when I come up you can see that my left finger lines perfectly up with my right eye. So it's easy to see that I'm 100% right eye dominant. I'm not going to have any problem shooting from the right shoulder. Let's go ahead and do the eye dominance test to some of our students and we'll see what we come up with. All right, and Holly, you're shooting with both eyes open, correct? Yes. And right-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed shooter. Okay, let's go ahead and do the test, Holly. Let's have you point directly at the camera with your right hand. Okay, drop your hand down. All right, both eyes open. Don't squint to see it. Just point at the camera. Don't even worry about where it's going. Just point at the camera. Okay, and with the left hand. Okay, good. Now we can see that Holly pretty much comes up 100% to her right eye. So shouldn't have any problems. Right-handed, right eye dominant. One of the lucky few.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Holly. Okay, Lisa, you told me you shoot left-handed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. What we're going to do, we're going to start with your left hand this time.
Okay.
So just like we talked about, I want you to, with both eyes open, look at the camera. I want you to point your left index finger directly at the camera. Okay, go ahead and drop that down a little bit. All right, let's do the right hand. Point the right hand directly at the camera. Okay, let's drop that down again. Do the left hand one more time. Okay, drop it down and let's try the right hand. Okay, great. All right, definitely came up with something I want to say uncommon, but not normal, not uniform. What I saw there was when you pointed with your left hand, you actually favored your right eye a little bit. And then when you pointed with your right hand, you favored your left eye a little bit. So based on the test that we just saw, it's hard to tell if Lisa really is left or right eye dominant. She kind of looks or appears to be about half and half. So we're going to dig in a little bit deeper. You shoot left-handed and you shoot with both eyes open, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you ever experience or feel like sometimes when you're shooting that you're a little confused or don't know where that gun's pointed?
Yes, sometimes I do.
Okay, that would make a lot of sense because like we talked about with eye dominance, your dominant eye is what allows you to be able to look out there past the gun and look at your target, but also know where your gun's pointed at the same time. And I think we're losing that sensation a little bit because your right eye is so strong. So right now I'm assuming the eyes are about the same. And given the fact that you're already shooting on the left side, we're going to start by just keeping you on the left side. So what I'm going to do, go ahead and get in your stance just like the camera's your brake zone, and I'm going to hand you the shotgun. All right, with both eyes open, I want you to point the muzzle of the gun directly at the camera lens. Right down the gun. Okay, good. Okay, we can see that this right eye is pulling you a little bit right of the camera. You're not pointed directly at the camera lens. Go ahead and close that right eye. All right, see if that straightens up. You able to point directly at the camera lens now? All right, good. Now you're right on target. So that right eye is definitely pulling you a little bit. I'm going to show you what the remedies are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to obstruct the vision on Lisa's right side just a little bit. And I'm going to start by using a dry erase marker and doing a series of dashes. And what I'm trying to do, Lisa's up on the left side, I'm trying to block her pupil on her right eye from the bead on the end of the gun. So when she's in shooting position, I'm going to actually, make a little smudge on her glasses here. What that's going to do is block her right out from seeing the bead on the end of the gun. Now her left eye is going to be able to kind of take over and become the dominant eye, and she's going to be able to see where that gun's pointed a little bit better. Why this is so much better than closing an eye: if we close an eye, we're eliminating 50% of our vision. If we use the smudge or the dot or the dashes, we're maybe only losing 10–20% of our vision. We're just kind of losing that dominance. We still have all the peripheral. We don't have to worry about closing our eye. So we don't see as good as we do with no dot and both eyes open, but we definitely will be seeing better than we could if we had to resort to closing an eye. So what we're going to do, we're going in dots. You go ahead and step back into the spot here, get in your stance like you're going to shoot the camera. All right, let's go ahead and put the gun back up, and we're going to just take a dry erase pen, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to see exactly where her eye is in line with that bead. I'll make a little mark so I have a reference. Okay, go ahead and close your right eye. Get right down the middle of the gun. Perfect. All right, open up. All right, great. Go ahead and relax a little bit. Let me take these glasses from you. Oh, sorry, I got your hair a little bit. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to make a series of dashes. We're not going to start with a full-on dot. I think this may resolve the problem. So we're obstructing the vision. I'm still allowing her to see through these dots and dashes, but just a little bit. I'm fogging it enough to where I'm blocking that bead from her vision enough to where I think that this is going to give her the ability to keep both eyes open and see where the gun's pointed a little bit better. So here, go ahead and put your glasses back on. I'll hold the gun for you. All right, let's get in our stance again, and this time I want you with both eyes open. Let's see if we can point that gun directly at the camera lens. All right, it appears pretty straight. Do you feel the difference? Does it look different now? You feel like it's easier to see where the gun's pointed now?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
Definitely.
okay, wonderful. That's the perfect fix then. Perfect fix, great. Let me see your glasses one more time. And the reason I like to resort to these dots and dashes is because we can still see through it a little bit, but it does enough of the job to where her left eye is able to take over. The other traditional test would be to use chapstick, and what chapstick's going to do, it's going to fog it out completely so you couldn't see through it. So chapstick works, the dots and dashes work. They work a little better because it doesn't eliminate as much of your vision. So I would do the same thing. I would just take some chapstick, even a piece of Scotch tape would work, and just make a smudge right there in that same area between the off eye and the bead on the end of the gun to block that vision. Again, my favorite is using the dashes, but the chapstick or Scotch tape is a viable option. So anytime we have somebody come up that doesn't test out 100% right-eyed or 100% left-eyed, if there's somewhere in between, if you've got somebody testing over here, they're testing a little closer left than they are right, but they're not perfect. They may need a dot, they may need the dashes, and they may just need them more as training wheels for a short amount of time. If they're just a little bit off, through shooting and through pointing, they're going to learn how to get that finger or that gun pointed in the right place. So they may be off a little bit, but through shooting, they're going to work it out, and they're going to begin to learn where that gun's pointed. So over here on the left eye, maybe we've got a little problem pointed. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dot the right eye, so I'll fog up the right eye, and that's going to bring it back in. Maybe we can take that dot off after a month of shooting or after 2 months of shooting. Kind of same thing from the right eye. If I'm just a little bit off, just inside my nose on the right eye, then I may need to resort to the dots or dashes on my left eye, just again as a set of training wheels or training tools, something to use maybe the first couple times I shoot, and then I believe we can get away with that. If we're in a situation where we're right eye or we're trying to shoot right-handed and we're testing out 100% left, well, we're never going to be able to take that dot away. We're going to have to be dotted forever. It's never going to change. Same thing, if we're testing out 100% right, but we're trying to shoot off the left shoulder, but we're testing 100% right, we're never going to get away from that dot. We're probably going to have to use that as a long-term or a tool forever. So a dot can be used for any eye dominance problem, whether it be a significant one or just a minor one. And it can be used as a permanent fix and also used as a training tool if we've got just a slight eye dominance problem or we're just a little bit off. So that's basically a good mix of how eye dominance works, and hopefully you guys have learned how to administer the test and how to come up with any resolutions that you may need.